Thanks for sliding into the booth at the Millennial Diner podcast. Hey, it's Phil. I came to the diner a little early today, not to bask in the quiet of the diner before Jeff shows up, but to remind you of all the things. Follow us on social media to get the latest updates and shenanigans, and check out our merch available on TeePublic and the Dashery. Just search Millennial Diner Podcast, you'll find all the things. Executive producer Megan has created for you to consume. Well, not eat, like buy. Don't eat a shirt. Do check out all the t-shirts, sweatshirts, and stickers if you're feeling generous. Now I see Jeff entering the diner, so let's get this show started. Enjoy.
Jeff and Phil, they take the stage. Two voices wise beyond their age. Spin vinyl tales of old punk days. Rock and rebel in caffeinated haze.
Welcome to the Millennial Diner podcast. It's me, Jeff. I'm here at the diner with Phil, as per usual.
Per usual.
Phil, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. That third good did not sound good.
Yeah. I guess I'm in kind of a black mood.
Sounds like you need a parade to cheer you up. But Phil, wait a second. We've already covered The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Came out in October 2006. We have a whole episode on that with friend of the show, Nadia, coming in and helping us deep dive on that. So why in the heck would we talk about it again?
That's a really great question. I don't. Do you, oh, I know why.
Why,
Because
Phil?
because we went and saw them together. That's why we're going to talk about it.
That's right. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of The Black Parade, My Chemical Romance has set off in the summer of 2025, which is actually the 19th anniversary year of the album. But don't worry, we'll get into that. To bring back The Black Parade, The Black Parade, Phil, who famously or infamously died in Mexico City at the end of the Black Parade run in 2007. So
Right.
the Black Parade was dead.
It was dead. Also, a reminder, I went to the very first Black Parade concert.
The official Black Parade tour,
The
right?
official Black Parade. Oh, I can't get my words right. Yes, the official Black Parade tour was it was in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I went. Megan and I, executive producer Megan went to it.
Well, that's because you're a man without patience, and you want things right away, and you don't want to wait for them.
I
Much
don't
like
wanna wait.
Flo is waiting for our order right now.
You know, I always feel bad. Sorry, Flo. I always forget that. Yep.
That's all right. I got an idea. I'm gonna do let's do a grilled cheese with some vegan cheese, some tomato soup on the side, so we could dip that grilled cheese in there. Maybe a side of French fries, and coffee with a little bit of oat milk.
I think I'll have a black coffee. That sounds good. And you know, could we have rye toast with a little bit of butter? But like, can you like food coloring dye some little dots of black onto my toast just to really set the mood? Thanks.
That's perfect. You know, Phil, that's the thing. You play the hits, right? That's what you do here.
You gotta play the hits. You gotta go with the hits. Always go with the hits.
All right, so the Black Parade comes out October 2006. They tour, through 2006, 2007 world tour all over the place. It was a theatrical show. They were in the marching band outfits, of course, then. And originally Gerard had like the blonde hair to match the character.
Right.
And what they did in that tour, if you remember, is they came out and played the Black Parade in its entirety.
Start to finish.
Then they left for a few minutes, changed into their street clothes, I guess, or
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance came out and played because the Black Parade is a fictional band.
A fictional band.
Yeah.
Right.
So that happened, and then obviously we know the My Chemical Romance story. You know, there was eventually another album called Danger Days. It was 2010. Then after the Danger Days tour, they broke up. They released unreleased album in Conventional Weapons after they broke up. And then we didn't hear from them until 2019 when they miraculously were summoned to return.
Yep.
And they had big plans to come back in 2020 and have a world tour for 2 years of a reunion show. But then there was a pandemic. So that got pushed to 2022. And it was incredible. And then they went away for a little while. And then they popped up last fall at the When We Were Young Fest to play the Black Parade its entirety.
Hmm.
And that was a very stripped down version. It was like very moody lighting. They all wore all black, but it wasn't
Yeah,
the
it
theatrics.
wasn't the production that
Yeah.
this concert was. Yes.
Well, what it turned out to be was a dry run of playing those songs and that album in its entirety again, because not long after that, I believe it was actually a couple weeks after the When We Were Young, they announced this tour, Long Live the Black Parade, which I love the title because if and there is an out live album of that. The last one was The Black Parade is Dead, and now we
Right.
have Long Live the Black Parade,
Yep.
which
Yep.
finishes the phrase, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's well, it's just like the ghost. It's a ghost. It's like back alive. Yep. Came back. It's a I would say a revenant almost.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
great.
talk about
Yeah.
remnants and ghosts and clones and all sorts of things that could be up
All
here.
sorts of things that are going on. But yes. Okay. So yeah, so they came. Thank you, Jeff, for the background of how we got to the concert. Now, what was really funny though is anybody was listening on the My Chemical Romance episode where we ranked albums. Jeff made an announcement in that episode, and he said, "I'm going to meet you at Fenway Park." And I was like, "Bullshit, you are going to meet me in Fenway Park." I didn't believe it. I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's go." And sure enough, Jeff met me at Fenway Park. So you had Jeff, me, executive producer Megan, all in the same place watching the same show. That hasn't happened in a very long time. The three of
No, no,
us.
no, not with executive producer Megan. That
Oh
that
gosh.
really, I can't even tell
For,
you the last show that was.
nope, me neither. But prior to that, the last show you and I saw was the year before, where our good friend Michael Bear was with us, and we saw Knock Loose and Military Gun Drain and Hatebreed. There it is. I was trying to remember what the other one was. That was the other one.
Yeah,
So
we met up. I was on Long Island. You were still in New Hampshire getting hate mail from past episodes,
of course,
and we decided to meet halfway in Connecticut to go to that show. And Michael Bear, friend of the show, who was on our Thrice episode way back when, Artist in the Ambulance, he made the bigger trip from Texas. So,
huge trip. I still can't believe that one. I remember you when you texted me, you were like, "We're gonna have a special guest," and I was like, "Who could possibly?" And then you told me it was Michael Bear. I was all amazed. I was like, "Wow, that's a trouble."
but yeah, so we hadn't been to the show, and this was kind of on my radar because I'm a madman, and of course I went to both shows at Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium, and then somehow got to New Jersey for the big homecoming show at
Oh,
Giant Stadium, which was amazing.
yeah.
With also former guest on the pod, Billy Keenly was there with me, so that was pretty great too. Just seeing the My Chemical Romance with all former guests on the pod. What else can you do? Um, so
Sounds like
yeah,
heaven.
yeah.
Yep.
So I had seen it 3 times before your first time here
Yes.
at the illustrious Fenway Stadium in Boston.
Yeah. Fenway is one of the most fun places ever to go see a baseball game. And one of the quirkiest thing about it, I pointed out to Jeff when we saw each other, is if you go see a game at Fenway Park, you'll actually notice that the seats that are go down the first and third base sides, they're not angled toward home, they're angled toward center field. So if you ever go see a game at Fenway Park, you actually have to turn your head to the left or the right to go actually watch what's happening at home base. It's a very strange stadium, but I hope they never get rid of it. It's still great.
Well, it didn't matter to us, Phil, because we had chairs on the field.
We were on the field.
We were in
Mhm.
in the outfield, facing the back wall, but just as the green monster towered over us
Huge.
where the stage was. So Phil, I think a lot of this is why don't I interview you here about your experience about it?
Ironically, that's what I want to do with you too. So okay, let's go with this. Okay, so let me. So do you want to ask questions first? You want to go one for questions? Because I got questions.
Sure. I'll
Okay,
start.
you go first. Yeah, you go first.
What was your impression of walking into, I don't know what little baseball town around Fenway is called. I'm sure it has a name.
Uh,
Um,
just Fenway. It's the Fens, I guess, would be the
okay.
yeah
But it's like, yeah, it just feels like around Fenway. Because if you've never been to Fenway, it's like part of this
city.
neighborhood. It's just
Yes,
part of
it
it,
is.
right? So it's not
Yep,
like it's its own stadium with a parking lot or anything. It's just like, oh, there it is, right in the middle of
yep,
everything.
yep.
Because it was built in like what, 1642 or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
something like that. Yeah, that's close.
Yeah. Um, what was your impression of seeing the masses of My Chemical Romance fans in 2025, which while they were very popular, at their stadium tour of Black Parade in 2006, their first stadium tour. This
Mm,
is their first, no, no, sorry, arena tour in
yeah.
2006. This is their first stadium tour. When you saw this whole new generation of My Chemical Romance fans and how into it they all were.
It was honestly, it was very wonderful actually, not being facetious whatsoever. And I mean that, not even like sarcastically. It was wonderful to actually come in and roll in and see all the I saw parents with kids. I thought about I have a 17-year-old kid. I thought about bringing him. But I was like, no, I'm not going to waste the money on that. But it was good to see parents with the kids. I see younger people, like in their 20s and 30s who were all dressed up, all ready to go. I loved how everybody was in it and that everybody was in all different costumes. I loved the weird balance of costume because there was a lot of Danger Day folks there, right? There was a lot of people dressed up as what I would say like Three Cheers Black Parade, a bunch of people in Three Cheers Black Parade. Good job, Phil. I saw a lot of people dressed up in Three Cheers MCR outfits, a lot of Black Parade outfits, and then I saw a fair amount of Danger Days outfits. And I was really kind of impressed with that and actually amazed. And because I was like, because Danger Days not my favorite album, and that's fine. But it definitely was a lot of people enjoyed that and they dressed up as the characters. And I was like, that's cool. That's really cool. So I was very excited to see the amount of people. I remember talking to a person in line. Uh, we were, I don't know, I got kind of gatekeepery. I was like, yeah, I remember the first time I saw my cam. It was like a $12 show. And they were like, what? Yeah, and they were very, very intrigued by that. I think I had to explain the whole thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was definitely an interesting thing. I was very excited to see all the people really looking forward to the show.
yeah, and I love the costumes. I love the costumes of different eras of My Chemical Romance, but I also was really impressed with just kind of like interpretive costumes.
Yeah.
Just, whether somebody was just like painted their face or put blood splatter on their face. I mean, that's a thing. I feel like, and to me, this was always what My Chemical Romance is going to be. We've talked a lot about seeing them really early days and how this energy, at least I can tell you, this energy was there. Um, but that was before there was this like culture around them.
Yeah.
But like this was, it feels like this was like the vision, right? Like,
I had the same kind of thought. I feel like this was like where Gerard and co wanted this to be, right? And I bet you anything, they probably could have sold out a stadium tour back in 2006. I really do. But the arena tour, they did what they needed to do, but just the level, the grandness of the show that they put on, I think is ultimately what Gerard was always trying to get to. And they can never get there, right? It's fantastic. It was fantastic. What was your opinion of Fenway?
I've been to a lot of baseball stadiums, not a lot. A few in New York, a few in California, that kind of thing.
Yep.
I haven't been, but I've never been to Wrigley or Fenway, and those were always kind of my list just because they are the old
Well,
ones.
they're older ones, right? Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
old ones. Yeah.
Because Dodger Stadium now is the third oldest, but it's still,
Which I've been to. I've been to
yeah,
Dodger Stadium.
yeah,
Yep.
but it's still 50 or years or so younger than Fenway.
Younger.
So,
Right.
um, yeah, no, as soon as you walked in, like when you walk right in, I just the guts of the stadium when you walk into it with like all
Yeah.
the metal holding everything up, the fixtures and everything. I was just like, oh, this is awesome. Like you're in a stadium. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It felt
It's
like,
such it's a cool place. And then how were so going with that when you walked out onto the field for the first time and you got to see the stage? Because I'll also answer this question. When you got to feel this stage, what was that like for you?
well, having seen the stage
Well,
already,
right.
um, that was cool. I already was like really impressed when I saw like the big Copacha language MCR that they have.
Hmm.
They have a special language they made. We'll talk about that in a second when we get into what the
Yep.
show is. Um, but for me, it was like the stage is next to the Green Monster, and I had never seen the Green Monster. I've only like known the
Yeah.
legend of the Green Monster, seen on TV, whatnot. So to see the Green Monster next to the stage, it's like actually the My Chemical Romance stage is almost as big as the Green Monster.
It really was. Like I was
Yeah.
like really impressed how big the stage was. It went up all the way up to the almost to the top of that. Yeah. I remember walking out and just being like, wow, look at all the people that are here. And then I had this weird baseball moment because I love baseball where I was like, can you imagine being able to play on this field and like looking up and seeing, 38,000 people and all that. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. A lot of people. Um, but then looking at the stage, I was so intrigued with the language, the screens they had up when it was playing the rules up on the screen. I was like, this is. I realized how immersive this was going to be, and I got
Yeah.
even more excited when I really started. Was like, oh, this is going to be great. I
You,
cannot wait.
you clocked and said, "Oh, this isn't just a concert. This is
Yeah,
gonna."
this
Yeah.
is going to be huge. This is not a concert, man. This is going to be a show. This is going to be like a whole thing. And I have not been to one of those types of concerts in a very long time where it was it's an immersive like they wanted to tell a whole story, which they do,
Yeah.
but they wanted to tell a whole story here.
Yeah, this and it's pretty wild to think of because it's like the Black Parade, the album is its own world and story. The band
Totally.
The Black Parade is its own story, but then they're telling us the Black Parade band is telling a story on the album about the patient, right?
Right.
But then this tour is not about the patient, it's about the band The Black Parade, and we find out the world they're living in is not great
No, it
for freedom.
none of the
Um,
slightest. Which
But,
which
but before we get to that, Phil,
yeah, yeah.
there was an opener
There was an opener.
that
We
set the
did.
stage, that set the tone.
Did they ever? My goodness.
This was the band Idols,
Yep.
a band that I absolutely adore, and Phil had yet to experience. So of course, I had to find out Phil what his first thoughts on Idols was, and he seemed his hair was blown back. Um,
The little I have left was all was shockingly pushed back. We did it. We did a. You guys check it out on the social media. We did do an interview really quick, which was really funny because I remember when the show was wrapping up, the Idols show was wrapping up. I was like, Jeff's gonna run over here and ask me a whole bunch of questions, so I better be prepared to come up with something. Some. So that's why I really started thinking about like, what the hell did I just see, right? And like, how would you mush this all together? Because when did you get into the Idols? Into
the
Idols?
Idols. Phil is
Yeah,
95 years old. Um,
I am.
the Idols. Uh, I They had been on my radar for late 20 teens because I'd heard a lot about them. They were just a buzz about them because they were from like uh the UK and they
Yeah,
were a post hardcore punk,
thing.
very punk.
Very
Attitude,
attitude wise, absolutely. Oh,
attitude and what their songs are about. It's very
yeah,
political.
yeah.
And yeah, and then they were on my radar and then a friend of mine, Joe, who has been on our podcast a couple times as well. The only people I go to shows with are people on this podcast. Let's
They are.
just
Let's just be honest. Yeah.
um he had tickets and had me go with him, and so I kind of like went in kind of blind for the first time, and I was just like my hair was slicked back and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is an experience. This band is a force."
There's a lot going on. No, yeah. Also, hats off on the name. I love the play on the word idol, IDOL, and they made it IDLE. Very clever. I love that. And so when we're done, Jeff asked me the question of like, what do I think this was? And I think I'm only slowly starting to get what this band really is. And because I think there is a wonderful punkiness to them, 100%. This attitude, this mentality, this controlled chaos, best way I'm going to put it for the live show of them. Because I say that because the bassist, I don't know any of the names, so bear with me with that. But the bassist and the lead singer, very stationary, but very intense
Hmm.
in their stationary. Like the amount of times I was actually grateful I wasn't closer because the amount of times like the spit went flying was a lot, and I was like, oh, I feel bad for the people down in the close areas, just because that was just the how forceful he was singing. And then you look at the two guitar players who are just banana wackies running around the stage the entire
Yeah.
time, and it's just you're like, and then they got the drummer who's like killing this beat. Now I felt like there was a lot of not repetition with that, but like there was a driving beat behind everybody, and that drummer was fantastic. It was like this very great. The drummer and bassist work really well with one another. This is as a percussion, basically a percussion session. But watching the chaos of those two guitar players while everybody else is standing very stoic and very still, it was just like it was a lot to handle. It was really cool. It was a really cool show to watch and just watch a band. It's been a while since I got to watch a band brand new out of the gate, never seeing them. That I was kind of like, okay, I've heard about them. I want to see what they can do. And man, they blew me away. They really, it was intense, intense and controlled chaos.
Very well said. Very well said.
Thank you,
Well,
thank
I
you.
just like to point out that what My Chemical Romance has done on this their first stadium tour is every city they played a stadium in, they had a different opener, and it was all bands that the guys in My Chemical Romance really respect and like.
Right, right.
So I won't name them all, but Garbage opened up at one city. You had the Pixies open up, I think in Toronto. You
Yep.
had who else was there? There was the Wallows were in Los Angeles, and then for New Jersey they had Death Cab for Cutie, but New Jersey they had a special opener with Thursday because
That's right.
it was the victory lap for the scene.
They
Started.
had. Oh, good.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
I was gonna say they had. I looked it up. They have Alice Cooper for
Alice
Philadelphia.
Cooper. That's so cool. Yeah,
The Wallows for L.A. Both times. Violet Femmes. 100 Gex.
yeah, 100 Gex.
Geeks.
Yeah,
100 Gex. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. The one that probably would have been crazy to have gone seen was Evanescence.
yeah.
Devo in Chicago.
Evo. That's a great.
And,
That's a great
and
pick.
I'm not sure who's doing the who did Atlanta. That one's not listed on
That
this.
was a festival. That was.
Oh, it was festival. Yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
But yeah, so that was kind of the vibe. So it's basically the band is doing their first stadium tour. They're doing it right. They're only having one show a week, and you'll
I
understand why when you see the show.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, this is not a nightly show. You cannot do this show nightly.
yeah. So they were well rested for every show, and they always had a great opener. You were always guaranteed someone really good. So the show itself. So I guess we were saying there is a lot of storytelling, world building here. Like I said, there was a language created because when you enter the show, you are no longer in our world. You're in the fictional dictatorship known as Draag.
Draag, Draag.
Yeah, so
Draag.
there's a Draag marching band who comes out. There is
Mhm.
a national anthem. Wheat seems to be a big thing in Draag.
Yeah, it was very Eastern European because I know
Very,
because that's like one of the biggest outputs of or crops of like Ukraine and that kind of area is wheat, right? That's kind of why the well, get into the real world for a second. Ukrainian war is kind of an important one because of the wheat. But anyway, moving on.
right.
Just
Well, I
saying,
think I think a lot of the design felt very Eastern European,
Eastern European.
Soviet bloc.
Yeah. Yes.
That was the vibe, right?
Yeah.
Um, and before the concerts even got announced, there were a couple of videos they started showing on social media of these new characters, including the Grand Immortal Dictator,
Yep.
a
He
clerk,
That guy
who
was
is
amazing.
a
Yeah.
clerk who we find is there to make sure the band is staying on message and
On
point
message, on point,
and not
constant.
and not
Mhm.
saying anything that would undermine said dictator,
No.
said grand immortal dictator, who is sitting in a throne-like chair enjoying the concert. In fact, it was the immortal grand immortal dictator who demanded that the Black Parade be brought back
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
could enjoy the sounds of the beloved drug band, the Black Parade. And the question is, how did they bring him back? Because we don't know. Because last we heard in Mexico City that Black Parade was dead.
Who
So
knows? Who knows?
So yeah,
Uh,
Kapashka is the name of the the language they
language.
created that looks again very Eastern Europe Soviet bloc kind of language.
It's got that. It's very stark. It's very imposing, and so everybody knows. My executive producer Megan is a graphic designer, and she has taught me a lot over the years about font, which is actually called typeface. That's the actual term, not font. But that is stark and imposing right out of the gate, and it set a tone. Honestly, all the stuff they had in the beginning of the show, right there, with the anthem, all that set a tone for the whole entire night.
Well, they also hand you a card, two cards when you walk in. One that says nay, and then the
Yep,
Kapashka underneath what it looks like, and then on the other side it says yeah.
yep, here it is.
So
Yep.
this becomes part of what's interesting about this tour. Also what I thought was interesting was when they had their reunion show, I remember like the kids were like live streaming it on TikTok and stuff, and the band
Yeah,
actually like requested don't do that. Where this show, I think that they knew everyone was going to be watching all the shows on YouTube or TikTok.
yeah,
So the story of the tour actually starts to evolve over show to show
Correct.
because they are aware that everyone knows what's going to happen. It's not like Phil, you went in blind pretty much, right?
I knew there was like the stage. I knew there was like the fascist elements. I knew a couple of little things, but like the actual story, I
Yeah,
knew bits, right? I didn't know the whole story. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. No, I knew bits and pieces, not the entirety of the story.
yeah. So yeah, so I think a lot of people. So I couldn't wait, so I watched the Seattle show right away.
That's funny. I did
But
watch. I
I'm
watched
glad I did
clips.
because Seattle became kind of like what when you have an experiment, it's
Test
the
case. There was like
yeah
the
the constant. What do you call that one? I don't
oh,
know.
the baseline.
The baseline. Wow, this is really showing how much I don't remember from science class.
Yeah,
Anyway, don't mind that. I swear I'm an intelligent human being sometimes.
I can
Uh,
vouch.
okay, so yeah. Oh man, that word's gonna drive me crazy. And someone's gonna be listening to this and be like, "It's the."
Yeah, I know. And I went sadly with baseline, but I'm like, no, that's the standard.
Oh, and
The
we have internet. We're not even looking. That's okay. The
that's
point
okay.
is, yeah, the baseline, right? Like that's where it looks like without things starting to change, and then start to change. So I don't want to like spoil everything about it.
No, I was debating how far I wanted to go, which is why even when you asked me what I know about the show, I was like, I'm going to be quiet on the specifics I knew, just because I don't want to give away certain things in case someone else wants to, because I kind of want people to enjoy that for themselves. Because let's be really honest, kids, we all know a DVD or a Blu-ray or a live album is coming from this. We all know it, right?
A
Don't kid yourself.
DVD.
Yeah,
I thought
DVD.
you were gonna say a Betamax.
Well, yeah, remember I told you I'm 95 years old. Yeah, no, there's some form of consumable video is coming for this. You know it is. You know it
I
is.
know, but you want the physical media. I got it. I got it.
I do. Physical media, man, you got to hold on to it. It's, great example. You lose the app. The app's gone. You lost your
Well,
thing.
yeah. So two things. You see, you
But
have a
anyway,
main stage, like you mentioned, with all the accoutrements around it. Then you
yep,
have a smaller stage, kind of in front of the main stage,
yep.
which is where the woman who sings the Draag national anthem sings it from, and then the band comes out, and we are brought into a Black Parade concert, and we are going through the album in its entirety, so we know the set list.
Yep.
So, what is a band going to do when everyone already knows the set list? Are they just going to play through everything? No, 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 no. Because
No.
it seems like if Gerard Way was ever a theater kid, this was his Broadway uh,
100%.
realization. Because that's what it like. I used to think like, oh, I want to see a Black Parade Broadway show, but after seeing this, I'm like, no, because I don't want an exact interpretation of it because this is so much more interesting to me and so much more huge, and it blew open the worlds and like
Well,
it really.
that's what I liked about it is the fact that we all know the story. Like you said, we all know the story about the patient, but it's like they like repurposed all the songs to fit a new story about learning about the drug and about the people of it and it basically they told a new story in it, which I thought was amazing. And of course, because I think the band just full of just a bunch of geniuses that they were able to take something like you said, everybody knows, arguably the greatest emo pop punk song ever comes off this album, um, and everybody knows it. What do you do with that? You end up telling a new story, and I love what that's what they did with it.
Yeah, they went all out for that stuff.
All
And
out.
there was actually, the night before the first show, they posted on like Instagram this thing that said a dagger, please someone fetch me a dagger. So of course
Mhm.
the fans were like, "Oh my God, they're gonna play a new song called Dagger."
Yeah,
But I think what they did with Dagger was even more fascinating because they actually expanded one of the show-stopping songs, which I think is the show-stopping number of the entire.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that is the best thing in the entire show is that song.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
What song we talking about?
Talk about my mama.
Talk about Mama.
Yeah,
That song has always been to me kind of like that and Teenagers. Always kind of like the outliers on that album because like they're just very very different from the rest of the album. Well, Teenagers not so much. It's just the kind of the concept behind it. But Mama itself, I always man thinking like that is a crazy ass song. And that was one of the songs I remember executive producer Megan and I were both talking about it. That was one of the songs I could not wait to see what they
Mm.
did with it. What they did with it. And they go big. They go
Oh yeah.
big with that song.
Well, it's so yeah, and I know we're jumping around a little bit, but basically, let's put a pin in Mama for 1 second and just kind of get us
Okay.
there.
Okay. Let's
And
get
I'll
the
ask you
mama.
what some of your favorite songs of the performance were, so we don't have to talk about everything. But basically, yeah, they come out, they play a couple songs. Um, then the leader of the Black Parade, played by Gerard Way, is talking to the crowd, and there's a sense of that they are here to play for the Grand Immortal Dictator, and they're so happy they're bringing the Black Parade around America, and it's really great. And every show they kind of like talk to whatever city is, and there's little gags that change from city to city. At
Right.
one point, I'll say in Dodger Stadium, the band was all given Dodger dogs, and then they cut to the Grand Dictator eating his giant Dodger dog. So
Which is hilarious.
yeah, so they kind of play with that for the different cities. Um, but yeah, so this is a show going on, and then they finally get to the Black Parade, and there's like a podium put in front of Gerard, so it's very dictatorial at that point while he's leading
Hmm.
leading everyone to the Black Parade, welcome to the Black Parade rendition, and then they just stop the show and have a vote
A vote.
to show how
A vote.
democracy works in Draag, which is there are four people, prisoners, brought to the center circle. There are masks over their heads, you can't see who they are, and we need to vote whether these criminals should be eliminated or not.
Yeah.
And everyone votes, and the yays get it, and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Those they're gone. Those
They're
they're
gone.
taken care of,
Yep.
which was quite an interesting piece of the interactivity of the show, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, because yeah, we also talked about a little bit, so we'll continue to jump around about how the story evolved, right, throughout the course of the tour. If you notice in our particular show, Fenway, Gerard seemed very, or the lead singer of the Black Parade seemed very, very confused at our signs of being a black yay and a red nay. And if you go back and look at other pictures from the tours, these keep changing,
Yeah,
right? So that's so, and unless you go to Toronto where it was chicken or fish,
right.
which was hilarious, by the way. I just found that really, really funny. But so these signs kept changing throughout the course of the show until you got to the last show in Tampa. And do you know what it said on both sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like if you're going to dig into the commentary and what the
Oh,
show is about,
yeah.
I think this is the heart of what it is. It's reminding you that in a dictatorship like the one in Draag with the Grand Immortal Dictator,
Hmm.
um, you think you have a choice, but you really don't because
It's the
it
illusion
never
of choice.
mattered what
Yeah.
people's signs they held up throughout the whole run. There was always the execution.
Yeah.
The other thing that evolved by the time you get to Tampa, which was the shocking one. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yes, I do.
About the four prisoners who are brought up on stage.
Yes.
They are in the Black Parade marching band suits. They look like our beloved band, but with sacks over their heads, so we can't see
Right.
their faces. But it's clear that they're supposed to be the band. And as you said, that night there were only yay signs,
Yays. Only yay signs.
only
Yep.
yays, which meant you really had no choice. And someone had wrote this, and I think this is very true. It's like, oh, that's the thing. It's all fun until it's somebody you love up there.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, all right. Yeah, it's all funny until it affects you personally, huh?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Interesting. I Oh, that's really smart. The other thing I would with that is that there was like a time travel component to it, honestly. That they're like, you're in a loop. You're gonna go
Mhm.
back now, right? You're gonna go right back because the show's as we know, a new tour has been announced, and so the show's gonna keep on going. So we're going back into a loop. But anyway,
No, but that's another part too, because there's another part of the show where the character of Gerard takes a break and
yep,
he pulls out a creepy dummy character, who, by the way, there's a
creepy.
creepy dummy character on Bullet's album in one of the images, which I don't know if that's a connection.
I totally forgot about that. You were right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I have another one that I remember too that I saw someone post on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, I completely forgot about that. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that in a second.
Okay.
So the dummy character is named the Gentleman. He didn't have a name the first few concerts, but then one night, maybe in LA, I think, he said, "This is the Gentleman." So then the Gentleman got a name, and often at shows, at one point, Gerard will sit down with the Gentleman and just read something.
Yeah.
People have been trying to figure out what each of the things he's reading. And was it in Boston that it was the Gemini
I
thing, the
think
Gemini?
yes. The book. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Yeah.
So up to that point, people were wondering, are we in a time loop? Is that what this
Right.
concert is? Is
Yeah.
it they get through the end? Because by the end of the concert, not every band member survives on stage,
Nope.
and it doesn't look good for the other band members as the show ends.
Well,
Uh,
the stage is destroyed.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
burned
Yeah.
down.
All
Yeah.
burned down. Yeah.
So people thought, oh, they could be on a time loop. But then Genesis Gemini project was like,
Mm.
and it might not have been project, but Gemini was part of it. Gemini means twins, which
Right.
made people think clones. So are they clones that they're making after every show?
That's crazy. Oh, Gerard.
Oh, it's great. It's
It's
yeah,
great. It's so great. It's so great. The commentary he's able to bring into all this small things, with the fascism, with the, I mean, there's even a statement about the band, right? About
yep.
it being a musician, having to constantly every night go back and play the same thing again,
The
right?
hits again, yeah.
Play the hits again. It's very The Wall in that regard.
Yes. Yeah,
Very The Wall.
which was the wasn't that what they originally said they wanted to do, like their version of, not they wanted to do the wall, but they wanted to do something that would stand next to the wall as
Right,
part.
something on that test time because with the
Yeah.
wall. So I'll give a little fun history fact.
Pink
For
Floyd
the
by the
Pink
way.
Floyd guys, Pink Floyd. If you haven't listened to the Wall, go get ready. For the concert, what I thought for the Pink Floyd The Wall concert, one of the things I know about, I always thought this was the coolest thing is as the first half of the show at Pink Floyd goes, they actually build a wall that it covers the entirety of the stage. You can't even see the band anymore. That was part of the show, part of the story of the show, and I always thought that was really cool. And so to see this concert, the Black Parade concert, I was like, yeah, totally can see this. The theatrics of it, um, the pyro, all the stuff that goes with it, fantastic show. And it stands next to that tour, that Wall tour, absolutely.
Well, Phil, whether it's a time loop or clones, it seems like the characters throughout the show are starting to learn. Like for a while, the first few shows, when when the clerk had an issue, he would
Mm,
issue a complaint note to Gerard.
right,
Gerard would get slapped in the face by him. So he was getting
right,
punished. So what I took that as is the band seemed to be trying to get a message out, is what I think.
right.
So this brings us back to Mama. So
Oh
Mama
boy.
has a whole new verse
Yep.
that's incredible. They do a great thing where Marianne, or was it Sophia for our show? I can't remember.
I think it was Sophia. I think it was
Sophia.
Sophia.
So Marianne in some shows it's Sophia. That's the person who sings the part of the Liza Minnelli part from Mama. You have
Right.
kind of an operatic singer doing that part. So that's all part of it. It slows down. They have this other verse about the dagger, and the dagger comes back at the end of the show.
Correct.
So we go through the whole show. Mama is incredible. It is the showstopper. It is the Broadway moment. It is epic on a level. Well, the whole thing is, but
There was just it. Well, that's where the pyro comes up.
yeah,
The
that's where,
flames. That's where it starts. The flames start coming up, and
yeah.
one, I actually could feel how hot the flames were.
Oh yeah,
And it was like I was like, whoa, these are really hot. This is obviously Phil, it's flame, but it's gonna be warm. But it was definitely like I did not expect pyro, and here it happens, and it was so fun to have like comes out of nowhere, but it also sets the tone for later in the show when basically the show burn, the whole stage like burns down basically.
yeah. Well, and also on our show, when Gerard's about to get hit, Mikey actually steps in and tries to stop him, which is the first time that happened. So we're getting the idea
Oh,
that if they are clones, they seem to be learning
yes.
every
Okay.
time what's going
Okay.
on. And ultimately the show ends. They finish with famous last. I mean, finishing with famous last words is like it's always
Chef's kiss.
brings the house down. But the
Yeah.
flames are going crazy. Um,
Mike
it's
aspects of the stuff on the stage is on fire. And if I was thinking about how close I wasn't even anywhere near the fire, and I was like, wow, this is really warm. I can't imagine how hot it must have been for them on the stage. Like the
Oh yeah.
heat they must
What
have
about that
dealt
poor
with.
guy who's on fire who runs through during
That's
Mama?
true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Um, we get to the end, and then of course, Blood is the hidden track on the album. Um, but what happens is before that, they do a reprise of the first song, right?
The end. Yep.
Yeah, they go back into that to kind of put it like a bookend on it. But then a clown walks out. It's one of those old French clowns. I forget what they're called. But
Perros.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Pierrot,
Per-
Pierrot clown.
Yep.
Comes out and has the dagger that the band leader added to the song Mama. A dagger, come fetch me a dagger. And if you look at the lots, there's like treasonous plot. There's like things in it that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
is that him trying to get the message out?
Yep.
And then but what's shocking is the clown with the dagger, you think, is this going to help? Actually, spoilers,
Get ready.
stab the band leader, who is Gerard, and he slowly dies. And the rest
Yep.
of the band is pulled off stage with masks, bags over their heads.
Yep.
And that's the end. And then we think it's the end.
But it's
And,
not the end.
and normally what happens is the clown has the big show-stopping end, but for this one he did something really bizarre, which was not like any other show, where he picks up the corpse of Gerard with the blood and starts playing with him like he's
Play
a
with the
puppet.
which was so strange. And did you also notice Gerard must have put makeup on? Wow. Did you know how gray his face looked
Great.
when he
It was
became
so
up?
good.
It was so like I was like, this is amazing. But yes, so the clown makes Gerard act as a puppet and like moving his arms around, moving his arms around and everything. And that was
Gerard became the gentleman in that moment.
that's right. That's right. See,
Uh,
full circle, coming full
and
circle
then
on
and
this.
then the show always ends with the clown revealing that he has a suicide vest on, and then he blows up, and that's the end of the concert.
The end.
Yeah.
And then you were treated to a lovely piece of instrumental music from a celloist.
Kelois comes out, kind of changes the tone,
Yep.
and then we find that the little stage that's kind of in front of the main stage, it's our boys, My Chemical Romance, dressed as themselves
Yep.
and ready to rock us through 10 songs of sometimes deep cuts. Great songs,
Yes.
great play. And that to me on every single show, as awesome as the spectacle is, I tell you, when I was in Dodger Stadium and I was like right by that smaller stage, looking
Yeah.
up at them, I'm like, holy shit, these guys are fucking Metallica. Like I'm
They
looking
are.
up at them in the middle of a stadium, and like what I was trying to tell my other friend this, what makes me so happy about their success at this point is that I knew those songs on Bullets and Revenge and the deep cuts on Black Parade, and I knew those songs were fucking great. But
Yeah.
to hear stadiums of people singing every word of them and knowing, like everyone knowing, whether it's Boy Division or it's, or
Planetary
Cemetery
Go.
Drive or,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then for Boston, we had the sets always change too on
Yep.
that
So
second.
not the same set every time. Correct.
So we got really treated well because in LA, they first premiered The War Beneath the Rain, which
Mhm.
was a song they had worked on for the scrapped album Paper Kingdoms,
Yep.
and they premiered it, and it is one of the greatest songs they've ever done. And I was happy we got to hear it in Boston again.
Hmm.
We also got the double Vampire Night, which Gerard seemed very excited about because we opened with Vampire Money
Yes. And then
and we closed with Vampires Will Never Hurt You. And hearing Vampires Will Never Hurt You in a stadium to me is the most satisfying part of being a My Chemical Romance fan because when I saw that song when they first started out, it was as epic. And
yeah,
now it's finally being played where it's meant to be played in a stadium.
we also had a very spooky moon that
A
George
very
pointed
spooky
out,
mood,
and
yes.
that really helped.
But it was a spooky chemical romance mood.
Yeah, that's right. Spooky
That
Chemical Romance room. Yeah.
yeah.
And then I think it was Frank made a joke that yeah they paid extra for that to get that mood set. I mean that's hilarious.
Well, what's funny is so this is weird. As it's funny because we're recording this right before the next full moon. The last two full moons of since we've recorded this, I was at a My Chemical Romance show. So
That's
the
really
Boston
oh,
show
that's
was a full
strange.
moon, and the full moon before that was the Jersey show. And both full moons, Gerard kind of like lost his mind when he saw the moon because he was like, "In LA, we can't see the moon."
That's really fun. That's funny. You kind of lose track of that. That's true. Because I remember the converse of that, where I couldn't see the sun. One of the times I was in LA, I went uh, piggybacked on a trip with Megan to LA because she was doing some training. I remember being in the hotel room, and I can see the Hollywood sign clear as day from my hotel room. But as the day went on to noon, I could no longer see that because all the smog rolled in. I was like, okay, I now understand.
Just overcast.
Yeah, it's just overkill. Yeah, that's right. I've never seen anything as, and then to watch it all, then slowly go back out. I was like, this is so strange, so strange.
Well, Phil, so tell me, what were some of your highlights, songs wise?
So I mean, to have everything going, but really, I would say the first highlight was knowing the first note is coming for Welcome to the Black Parade and watching Gerard up on the stage, and then he's at the pulpit or whatnot, and he just does a little flick of the finger, and that's where the note hits. And just you can feel it was almost like you could taste it, the feeling the crowd knew, they're doing the order of the songs, and that's the next song that's coming, and like, but to hear and sing along with everybody was such a great joy. I remember everybody, a lot of people around me were taking out their cameras to record everything, and I remember having the very distinct mental decision to not do that because I wanted to be in the moment, not just watch it. I wanted to actually be in that moment. Same thing with Famous Last Words. I wanted to be in that moment. Um, from there, singing the show wise, it was Mama. I thought brought the house down. I thought teenagers getting the respect. I looked, and that was the sleeper hit for me back when season one we talked about the teenagers gets the acknowledgement it needs to because people were rocking on that.
You always
Um,
say it gets acknowledgement needs, and it's their most streamed song
I
on
know. It just I always
it's Spotify. It's like
I
billions, a
I
billions.
think it took a while for that song to kind of click. I really do.
Feels
And
like
then
everyone get on board with this song that's been streamed a billion
a
times.
billion times, well, you guys are missing out. Obviously, you're missing out. And then the way the show, the close of the show, Famous Last Words, was just because that is again the best song on that album. Rivaled, I will probably say by Mama, honestly. Um, Famous Last Words to me is still the best song on the album. It's the whole point of the album. It's the intensity. It is the hopefulness at the end of it. That despite everything, there you can still be hopeful. You're not gonna walk the world alone. It's amazing, amazing, and to hear everybody sing along to that was just joyful and I think a rarity, nowadays. Where to have you can have 4 minutes of joy, sing along with everybody. It was very cathartic, I felt, and I think those were the big highlights for me, the biggest ones for the first half of the show.
Yeah, yeah. I would throw in "This Is How I Disappear" is always just
Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah, yeah,
that song. It's low key. I know we've already been through the best songs, but that's definitely one of the best songs in the album too. I feel like it doesn't get as much love. It doesn't have as much stream as some of the other ones, which I always think is funny. Like you're missing out, people. But
you
yeah,
are missing.
the joy's a thing. Like that's part of the reason why I went 4 times. And
Yep.
since we saw our show and we started recording this, of course, they have announced that they are doing another leg after they go around
Another
the
leg.
world. And yeah, and it's so like we said, yeah, I know Pepper. It's gonna be great. Pepper really likes the show too. She watches
Of
on
course.
YouTube. Um,
Yeah.
uh, they are going to do the tour. So the reason why they started at the 24th, at the 19th year anniversary is because the tour will end in Hollywood at the Hollywood Bowl, the
Okay.
infamous, the beautiful, the famous Hollywood Bowl, where they're going to play 3 nights, and the second night is the proper 20th anniversary of the release.
Okay. I was wondering what was going
Yeah,
on.
but
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
coming back around, and once again, the openers are amazing. I saw Slater Kinney's opening in one of the
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just saw that.
like,
Uh,
yeah, there's
Hives. There's Hives. There is Franz Ferdinand, Pierce the Veil, Modest Mouse, Iggy Pop for Detroit, which is gonna be crazy. Slater Kinney, the Breeders, Baby Metal, which is the strangest one out of them all. Jimmy Eat World and the Mars Volta is what we got so far.
pretty good, pretty good. And yeah,
Pretty
the
good.
LA shows haven't yet to announce, but I'll hold out hope that Midtown gets brought back together for
Right?
Hollywood. That's what I
That
want.
would be amazing. I would love that. All right. Now that so we've gone through the concert. we've gone through the this version. I'm be careful on that one. This version of the show.
Right. We don't know. We don't
And
know what's going to happen with the next leg.
do you think the next leg they're gonna make changes to the show? Because like you can now watch a lot of the stuff, right? I mean, you can. Do you think they'll make any
I think it's
changes?
very interesting that they're going back to Mexico City on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good point.
so I'm very curious about what happens in the Mexico City shows just because of the lore.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Okay.
and then I at this point I'm not gonna it would be surprising to me that nothing adjusts a little bit based on the fact that it was adjusting within. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like a drastically different show. I think it's still going to be the same kind of special effects and everything like that, but the narrative itself might change. Though some people have pointed out that it's not called Long Live the Black Parade on leg two, it's just called the Black Parade.
Oh, so maybe it'd be a more stripped down version of it. I don't know.
Or no, maybe they got out. Oh yeah,
Maybe they got out.
one other Easter egg that I completely forgot about and someone on TikTok reminded me. Back in 2010 when the na 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 music video came out for the first
Yeah.
Danger Days video, when you're in the desert, the camera pushes past a skeleton in a Black Parade outfit.
Oh, I totally never noticed
And
that.
they just, and then in the show, well, we didn't get into all the stuff that happens in the show, but a nuclear weapon is launched.
And
And
oh my gosh, get out of
do you
town.
not
What?
think that the Danger Days world looks like a post-apocalyptic, a
It
post-nuclear
sure
war
it
place?
does. It sure does. It sure does.
So are we connecting the two worlds?
So here's a question for you. All right, now that you brought that up, and I'm sure maybe this person on TikTok is, we're missing an album. There was an album in between Black Parade and Danger Days called Conventional Weapons.
Right.
Well, a nuclear weapon could be a conventional weapon. Do you think that's basically what that little transitory thing would have been? That would have been the connective tissue between the three stories?
It might be. It might be. It also begs to wonder, is there a third big chapter coming? Maybe in the next, maybe MCR 5 is like
Finally coming.
whatever that's going to be. Maybe it's a post Danger Days world, a post Black Parade world. I don't know. It could be anything, or there could be never be an MCR 5. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, Phil, the price of these tickets,
Oh
I
my
could use a
gosh.
break. I could use a break. I
Yeah,
used
I
to
can.
I used to be like I want MCR 5 more than anything. I'm like I need to
I I need
do
I
something with
need to
my
ha
life to save money for the MCR 5 tour.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. That is one of the biggest complaints. I'm glad you brought that up. That's one of the complaints I've heard about the new tour is the ticket prices are like twice as much.
Yeah.
My sister and I, my sister Liz was talking. She also went to the show. She went to one of the shows. I forget which one, but it was they're not inexpensive, dude.
Oh, it's really expensive. Really
And
expensive.
this new show seems to be really expensive. So
And
yeah.
like I saw, I don't know. I don't know how it works because, some people are gonna be like, "Oh, the band did this, did that." Like everyone's like, "Oh,
Mm,
Cure was able to keep their tickets low." But I'm like, but the Cure, I don't know what their deal is. Like I don't know what the My Chemical Romance deal with Warner Brothers is.
mm,
Is that My Chemical Romance thing or is that Warner Brothers? Like to me, it feels like a very corporate move to have tickets be that expensive. Plus,
yeah.
for reasons, things are getting more expensive anyway, all over.
This is also true. This is also
So
true.
I don't know if that's just inflation. I don't know also if the cost to do this show versus the cost of, I know they have a stadium, so you get a lot of tickets sold,
Right.
but this is not a cheap show to do, I would imagine.
No, I was
Big
actually kind of
crews,
big
you're
crew.
paying.
Well, I was just thinking about that too because the 2025 list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12 shows.
Right,
The new tour is like twice that.
right.
So then I guess, I get it. It's expensive to run a tour, particularly a big stadium tour. Totally get it. They're also going over the world for a bunch of the first half of it is all over the crust of the world. So yeah, I get it.
No, I get. I mean, and I understand,
I don't love it, but I get
but
it.
no, it sucks because
Yeah.
money is tight for everybody right now, and especially for this younger generation who really is. Let's face it. It feels like this period of My Chemical Romance, their fan base is like was not born when they started.
Right. No, this is very true. Well, that I it was the person I was speaking to when I first told them about, yeah, I saw that, when they play like a $12, $15 show, they were like utterly shocked at that. But then I looked at him again. I said, "You weren't even alive, were you, when the first time I saw him?" And yeah, I think I might have been right on that. But
Well, yeah, no, no, it sucks for that. But the other thing is, we'll see how it plays out. As of yesterday, Citi Field still has a lot of seats available in New York.
okay,
So, maybe some of those prices will come down. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll see.
Um, but yeah, look, I'm gonna keep going to see My Chemical Romance concerts until I cannot afford to ever go again,
I,
and then
I
I'll be
get you.
sad. But
Then you'll be
then
sad.
I won't be sad because you know why? I'm gonna watch it on YouTube.
That's or the forthcoming DVD, VHS tape, Blu-ray of the show that
The
you know
60
it's
millimeter
coming.
film strip.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I would do eight. Oh, Gerard, he might do like, oh, it would be really cool if this was 8 millimeter.
Phil wants to roll out an old Nickelodeon that you turn the crank and watch the Long Live Black Parade.
I gotta put a nickel in and just kind of crank watch it. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
It's weird, Phil, and I know this has nothing to do with anything, but don't you feel like when you were looking at TikTok, aren't we back to Nickelodeons in a weird way?
We kind of are, right? It's like short, clippy, real short things. The bits they do. Well, it's funny. We kind of have gone back to it. This is the second time because I feel Vines was the first time they were in Nickelodeon. It's like little 10, 15-second videos, which are hilarious.
Right.
And
So we're
I
saying
kind of,
we're saying cinema was perfected with the Nickelodeon, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
All
So
right.
the
If
thing
you
that
have an issue with that, please. You're saying my Paul Thomas Anderson movies can't be on a small screen like a TikTok screen or a Nickelodeon screen. I hate Phil for saying that. Please send him angry letters to New Hampshire.
I look forward and I'll write you back and I'll tell you how incorrect you are, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind.
All right, Phil, do we need to thank anybody?
We do. We do. I want to say thank you to Jacob for doing the music we have. Also saying thank you to executive producer Megan for one, coming with us to the show, and two, putting up with us at the show. So that's really nice of her. Three, we also we have some stuff out there. We've got the social medias that you guys can watch. One being the interview Jeff does with me about the Idol show. Um, there's another video I think I did of a sad-looking cat the day after the Seattle show. He was very sad. He got to miss out on everything, which was real fun, actually. Honestly, the commentary we got on that, the comment section on that was really great because everybody was just kind of commiserating how they couldn't wait for their show. And then you had that group of people who were commiserating because they weren't going to go to any of the shows. Hey guys, there's a new tour. You can try it again. So like I said, we have the social media. We also have the stores. We got Dashery and we've got T Public. You guys can go ahead and consume some things if you feel like sponsoring the show in a part.
Well, Phil, the Black Parade is dead.
Long live the Black Parade.
Long live the Black Parade.